So hey friends, welcome to this week's video. This week we're going over a camera strap from Frii Designs, and I did a review, or like a kind of a reaction to their Kickstarter, and I ended up opting into it because it was something that I could have gotten a tremendous use out of, because obviously carrying a tripod around is extremely annoying, especially if you go on vacation. So carrying a camera strap that can kind of double as that would be ideal. So I got it in the mail and I tried it out for a little bit, and that's when I made a mistake. And I've kind of learned from that when I do these unboxings and testings, I should just record it all, because I was assuming I could get a little bit of playtime with it before I had to get any official shots out, but it broke. Literally put in the camera that I have, that I'm shooting this on, with a a 24 by 70 lens from Sigma, so it is a heavier setup. Thing bent and broke. Took a really long time for them to get replacement pieces, and it kind of came in just a random package. I didn't even know where it was coming from. I didn't get tracking information. They just sent it out of the blue after I had been harassing them on Indiegogo or Kickstarter, whichever that one was, for a very long time. So this is kind of what it looked like out of the box, and it didn't really go into what there's no instructions, there's no nothing. It's just here's 3 pieces and a screwdriver, just awkward looking. Have at it. So there's no instructions how to get this done. So I am going to deconstruct whatever's left of the broken pieces and install the new pieces, which is funny because they look exactly the same. I don't know exactly how they machined it different to prevent a breakage, but this time around, at least when I get it back together, hopefully it doesn't break and I can actually use this and do a full review. So the next part of this review is me going over the promises from the campaign, whether it's Kickstarter or Indiegogo, I forgot which one it was. And then we'll go into deconstructing this and fixing this, and then just do some initial testing. But yeah, after that, I'll probably have to do some extensive testing to really stress test it, but hopefully in this one, it doesn't break. If it does break, there's only gonna be one part of this video. If it holds, we'll have 2 parts, but let's see how far we get.
The Conda Strap campaign purported a super flexible solution that would stiffen into a moldable tripod at the flick of a switch. It's supposed to have multiple use cases like a tripod, selfie stick, gimbal, and GorillaPod. This versatility is what its main selling point was, and would have been a godsend for the photographer on the go. Hence why I wanted to grab one. So let's repair this, and hopefully we'll get to try this more thoroughly. Alright, so here's the unit reconstructed. It's all in place basically, back to how it used to be, except it's missing the sort of hooks from the original. So this is not connected because I had to reconstruct that, and apparently these pieces are no longer compliant. Again, they look exactly the same density, same look and feel as the new pieces, but we'll see. Apparently they machined them differently to work better. The only thing that they've included elsewise is this fancy, star tool that gets the screws out. The other reason why I want to show this more reconstructed is because I had to figure this out. They didn't give any instructions, but to start disassembling your piece, there's gonna be 5 screws that you can see here. These are the pieces that they'd come through. But also remember the sequence in which you had to reconstruct it, because you'll have to piece it back together. But once you remove those 5 screws here, you should be able to take out the top piece, take off the lever, and then take off the bottom piece. Those pieces you'll need to slide. So there's a hinge here, and then there's a hinge here. If you press down on those 2 levers, they should just pop right off. So get into reconstruction of this guy. So we have the main unit that's bare, there's no pieces, but you want to keep in mind of the ball on the main unit and the ball on the strap. You're going to need to keep those in line with each other once we get the first piece on. So with the bare piece, you have your replacement one with the tabs on it, and that's the first piece to go on. So that slides in nicely by lining that up with the top tab, as well as this slides on top. So kind of like in an L shape, and that should lock in pretty tightly. From there, and this is where it gets annoying, is you want to take the ball from the secondary strap, and you want to put it inside the big slot next to where you have the tab on the side. So you have two tabs, a long and a short. It's going to be go on the short side. So you want to kind of line that up and make sure that that's sticking through, and look something like this. So again, short side is for this external strap, and make sure that you have everything accoutremated in there. So all of these adapters and things, and then that goes through. So that should stick through. Now for the annoying part is you have this other ball here where you have to stick that small tab through here, and you're gonna have to kind of slide that through while also hooking the ball on the main unit in that open slot that you have here. So let's try this. Something like this. So you have the main lever that you have in the side thing pulling this way, while the other one you're kind of just hooking from the front. I know this might not sound right, but I'm trying to make sure this actually goes through. So the main unit ball is hooking this way, while the other one is hooking that way. So if you straighten it out, it should be locking now. That mechanism should be tight in all ways. That's where it usually slips, and I think that's how it stays still. So again, the unit is pulling when you pull it this way, and then this other one is pulling through that side. So they're pulling opposite of each other. Once you have that in place, then you can take the top piece, slide that through, and then you have it. Or at least I think you have it. I wish I had better magnification for you guys, but unfortunately, this is super hard with whatever tools they gave us. Okay, sorry for the cut and all that, but this was getting super annoying, but at least we're on the last screw now. Hopefully everything is aligned. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like this was more complicated than it had to be, and the company really needed to provide instructions so that we know what we're doing rather than we have to figure this out on our own. Again, if you got a complete break, like we're not disassembling it with the ball bearings set in place, so we don't know which orientation they're supposed to be. So Frii Design kind of messed it up with that by just sending us generic pieces with no instructions. But it seems like we've rebuilt this guy. It is flexible and then forming apparently. And then it should stay if I do all the way. I mean, it still moves, but it's more rigid. So far so good. All right, let me switch to my phone so we can test this with my camera, and hopefully it doesn't fucking break. Why do I do these? Why do I buy these things? All right, guys, we're gonna get creative here because I only have one camera and I don't have a tripod for my phone. And we're gonna do this in parts. Also, I'm extremely concerned that my camera's about to slam on the floor. But we ride on. Okay, anyway, so this is the strap. It is made of like a weave. It almost feels like a basket weave. It's not uncomfortable, but it's not cloth either, so it's kind of plasticky. But it does kind of cradle against your neck because it does have that stretch from that weave. So it is very comfortable, and it is padded on the top here. Please don't break. Please don't break. Okay. On the top here, it's more padded, so you can see. Nice and squishy. Everything feels good. On one side, there is the Conda Strap branding from the Frii Design. and that kind of gives you a little bit of grip. I was expecting more, but it's just like a little bit of vinyl that they added here, so I'm not sure how much grip it would give you. If you guys are used to Peak design straps, it's definitely not on that level. This just seems sort of like a vinyl add-on. It doesn't really provide that much gripability. In fact, it's already coming off. Can I? Yep. It's also not put on very nicely. Interesting. If I had nails, this probably would be off already. Let's see. Yeah. So, I already broke it. But with, you know, a lot of shifting around, I can imagine that could be worse, and these things would just completely come off. So not a great aspect from that perspective. Also, the hand crank, make sure you have a screwdriver because it's not very good with the hand crank. See, as you can see here, I had this facing the back before, but it's already shifted to a 90-degree angle, which is not ideal. But we want it to look like this, where the actual contraption's on the back, so it doesn't get in the way of your shot, doesn't get in the way of your lens, and all that sort of stuff. It needs to stay there, but it doesn't, because the mechanism's not reliable. And this is when I would wish they had something more Peak design, like where there's a plate that I could snap into, rather than have this hand crank. But again, we'll tighten this with a screwdriver, and hopefully it won't shatter into 1,000 pieces. Okay, now that we talked about the strap, let me kind of zoom in, or like zoom out somehow, I don't know. We'll get creative here. I'm gonna show you the length of this, as well as how to adjust it. Right, we're getting way artsy with this mirror. My neighbors probably think I'm crazy, but whatever. So in terms of the length, at full length, it is basically at my crotch. I'm 5'10", so that's gonna tell you how far this would go if you were way taller than me. But the way you adjust it is through these little rings here. So there is a sort of mechanism where you slide it down. So I'll do zoom-ins on this later, but basically you pile it down and then you just adjust the strap, and it basically fills this mesh tubing. And then when you're ready, you can just slide it up and it'll lock into place. So now you see that there's a little bit more structure and grip here from the side. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side to even it out. Nope, it's not high enough. Okay, about even. Hand crank for the win. So now you see it's higher. If I was to max this out, let's see how high this would go. God, this is not the easiest thing to adjust, I'm not gonna lie. Especially on the fly. I would prefer Peak Design's seatbelt straps better. Or slide. Oh, interesting. So it does meet a limit because of the padding. So it can only go adjust so high. And it also just makes the whole thing a lot more stiff. Alrighty. But that's basically as high as it goes, so it went from waist high to basically above my belly button. So about a camera's length. Perfect. Is how high it can go. Again, I can move it around because it's in that mode. Let's test out the tripod mode. Oh, don't break. Wow, so this side's completely wobbly, and this side's stiff, but still moldable in full mode. What is this? Okay. So the other thing that happens with some of these things is if the tension is not strong enough, is you can rotate it to help improve the tension. But last time, this is what broke it. So bear with me while I figure this guy out. yeah. So to tighten it, you want to go clockwise or counterclockwise, and that should tighten and give you some tension on that side. So now I see that this is a little bit more rigid. I'm gonna go ham on this. Notice how annoying that is. Let me see, put this on the camera. Oh my god. It starts twisting like that when you're trying to adjust it, which is stupid annoying. But I want to make sure that this thing is super tight. Not a fan of this mechanism, not gonna lie. That's super loose. So yeah, it's counterclockwise. Tighten this. I feel like I'm maxing it out, so the reason why this is giving me a little bit of pain is because it's really undoing this screw here to make it tighter. So when I tighten it counterclockwise, or clockwise, sorry, it just gets stiffer, for sure. You see that rigidness. However, it's just so far out that it's weird. It's not comforting, and it's a crazy twist going on. So let me try to readjust the strap. Try to untwist this so it's useful. There you go. Okay, cool. So then we bring it down. I'm just gonna try to max it out because this is super annoying. So we're at the top where the padding is. That's as far as we can go. Slide this all the way up to adjust correctly. Look how much my camera has rotated just through this crap. Not comforting at all. Alright, back on my neck. Let us go into loose mode. So now in loose mode, this thing is super rigid still. Not very flexible like the ads. But hopefully when I go into tripod mode, it's stable. It's not, dude. What is this? What is this? This is not stiff at all. Oh, look, the camera's falling down. What is happening? What garbage is this? Alright. Let me... Interesting. So one, even with a... what do you call it? Screwdriver. The mechanism that holds it in place is still coming loose just by swinging it around and wearing it, right? It seems like things are more rigid, you know, and it is. However, if you're trying to hold it at a certain angle so it's actually useful like a tripod, it's falling down. It just can't deal with weight. And I got the heavy version. I was supposed to handle this many pounds, and my setup is less than that for certain. So yeah, I mean, it works if I'm doing this, but if I change the angle, this thing's gonna fall down slowly. I don't. See, it's not stiff, even though it's on stiff mode. See, there's molding mode, and molding mode, I can't even mold it to keep it steady. It's gonna fall. And if I do loose mode, obviously everything falls. But because how much I tighten this guy, because I needed to, it's still stiff in loose mode. So this thing is not as adjustable as I thought it would be, and the convenience just isn't there. Between how the strap adjusts itself and how the mechanism needs to be tightened all the time, and how this stupid pulley system works, it's just not useful. Let me see if I can actually put this on the table. Like, could I bring this out to a bar and set this up so that I could take a picture of my friends? So it's loose mode on this side. It's still tight on this side because I had to over tighten it. Okay. So this is the stiff mode, and this is also super moldable, even in stiff mode. I am not, see, it's all the way cranked. It should not be moving all that much. That would be for this mode here. That's molding mode. Stiff mode is Does that look functional to you? I mean, I guess I get a shot, but having that level would be terrible. And it's basically hanging on a thread. I mean, I guess I could use it like that, but you know, in the ads where they show you could twist it around the pole and stuff, I really doubt I could do that without that thing drooping. Because even if I hold it here, like this thing's starting to sink in the middle. Like I have to be so tight onto it, otherwise they show this, like I can do a gimbal-like thing. I can't. It's droopy. And again, maybe it's not supposed to be used with a lens this big, but that's what I'd be using it for. So at least for my personal use case, I can't use it, because I mean, that would be the whole benefit, is having a longer lens where I could take a longer shot. But I suppose if I wanted to use this with my 50mm or any of my prime lenses, like my non-focus lenses essentially, that could work. Yeah, like, you know, all my manual focuses. But then I'm generally not gonna be using this for a tripod shot, because I would need to be behind the camera to make sure that everything's in focus. Autofocus things are the ones that I'd be using, and this guy is struggling to stay afloat. Let's see how long it takes. Oh. Okay. I think you guys know where I'm going with this, I guess. Let me try some other stuff that they did on the... Oh my god, this thing's so loose. It's so loose! Okay. Selfie mode? Oh my god, this is scary as shit. You could do that, I guess, if you wanted to vlog. But, again, as a camera strap, it's kind of uncomfortable. And it's kind of awkward that I have to tighten this one side so much just for it to work in stiff mode. So like this side is how it's functioning, how it's supposed to. This side is completely stupid. And if I didn't tighten it, it wouldn't even work. So a lot of the benefits are wavering, guys. I mean, the promise was awesome. Girls, I think I know how you feel now, you know? Some dude talks all this hype. Yo, I'm so fucking hard, blah, 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 blah. I could perform under all these circumstances. And just comes out looking soft. I can't, I'm not, I want to do more on this just to see. I'll think about it. I can't risk my main shooting camera on this, but let me see if I can dig up my old Sony, like, what was it? I think I had Sony Yeah, A6000, like an old 6000. I'll see if I can bring that out. That should perform better because it's a lighter camera, and the lenses that I have on it are shorter. So maybe I'll do a shooting on that one, just because, one, I'd like to get better shots than what I'm showing you guys on my cell phone right now, but also, I'm not risking this kit. This is all I got. I love it. It's all I got. I can't afford to have this guy break. So, in the interim, my recommendation is don't buy this piece of crap. But there will be more. We will have an update, I promise. This is gonna come out real soon, guys, because this is gonna be one of the easiest videos I shot. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for engaging with me and going down these experimental runs with me. I know you guys have been wanting a bunch of earbuds, but I had to switch it up just because I had some other things come through that I promised that I would get done, and some other things that I just bought out of drunkenness, and I got bamboozled by marketing. But I'm glad that you guys are willing to watch this sort of stuff and get some other products in there outside of earbuds. But I promise, you know, sometime in November, December, we'll get back on the earbuds. I just need to get through some of these videos and share my thoughts on them. I'm not gonna be nice on them, so if you guys like to see some crappy products that might be coming through, definitely stay tuned. I do appreciate that you guys are still engaging, subscribing, liking, commenting, doing all the things that you normally do on a video that you like and love, and again, helping me build this giant list of stuff that I can look at through at the end of the year. That's been great. Thank you guys for all your comments and everything that you have suggested to me. Definitely trying to put all of this stuff in my video as we move along, and really liking the community that we're building, because everyone's really collaborative. Everyone shares their thoughts on the headphones and things like that, and I think it's helping people get a better experience out of whatever they're buying, whether that be third-party ear tip recommendations or settings or how to reset something. It's just really cool to see everybody talking, so keep those going in the comments. Other than that, I should be coming out with another video soon. One of the test units that I got for a speaker that I was going to do didn't come out great, so I'm waiting for a replacement to come through. But we'll be also looking at the Pandas, revisited with the app that they brought out for our companion, as well as some other speakers and other music things coming up. So stay tuned. Thank you guys, as always. Appreciate you. Later.